Mr. Trump has been told that he has some form of immunity, which I suppose must come as a great relief. I'm not sure how much immunity that is from prosecution, especially regarding actions that took place outside the White House, but certainly regarding actions that took place while he was in office. The decision comes from the US Supreme Court, which is addressing the complex constitutional issue of whether a former president can be held criminally liable for actions related to his official duties. And the court appears to be leaning towards granting some form of immunity for Trump's actions that might be classified or might broadly fall under the orbit of his presidential duties. Justices like Brett Kavanaugh and Nick Gorsuch expressed concerns about the broad implications of allowing criminal prosecutions of former presidents for their official acts, fearing that it could lead to political weaponization and affect future incumbents. However, immunity is not absolute, and I suspect a lot is being pinned on the vagueness of the statement. The court has indicated that actions taken outside the scope of official duties, particularly those involving private conduct or actions that clearly violate the law, could still be subject to some sort of prosecution. But I suspect nobody in the higher judicial quarters would actually like to see the repeat of a future president being dragged through the courts, because it compromises the respect of the office itself, no matter who is being dragged through the courts, no matter when and no matter how long it was since they were president. This means that while Trump might have some protections for his presidential actions, any conduct deemed to be outside those bounds might not be fully covered. But I think there will be a sort of shroud of complexity, and therefore, a year or two of debate for any further actions, and that might even include the imposition of a sentence following the latest case. The final decision is still pending, but the ruling is expected to provide clearer delineation. I don't think clearer delineation is actually what is intended, even if that language is being used. I think what is intended is a smokescreen, because the Supreme Court is very much aware that Trump is heading back into the White House in all probability, particularly after the last debate and the seeming incapacity of Biden. I mean, he may have recovered, he may have looked better at the conference, the rally the following day, but if he can't manage to keep going after 4 o'clock in the afternoon, it's a worrying taste of what is to come, because events don't just stop at 4 o'clock. And the United States is based on having a fairly active presidential leader. It's not just a figurehead. And that's the problem. I think the coming years are going to lead to some serious definitions about curtailing the grounds, sort of changing the terms on which somebody can be considered a presidential candidate, probably putting an age limit on it, because I don't think America is keen to revisit the sort of debates which were visible the other night. I think that's shaken. I think the nation is not so much prejudiced as shaken. And certainly the people I've spoken to seem shocked, and disturbed and worried about the health of the president. And of course, Donald Trump's jibing at Biden simply looks cruel. It simply looks cruel.